Today on Stock Charts in Focus, we're digging into the latest and greatest, the new enhancements that just rolled out for all you SharpCharts users out there with 4 new chart list views to help you save, organize, and analyze all the symbols you're watching. Stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, cryptocurrencies, you name it. The 4 new chart list views that we have on the site that just launched are going to help you gain new perspective in your analysis. Plus, we're going to dig into the 9 new summary view data options that just rolled out. Tons of new features just released on the site. We're getting into it today with the SharpCharts highlights. So lots to cover on the show. Of course, you know what it is. It's all new. It's all here. It's Stock Charts in Focus. All right, my friends, welcome to the show, Stock Charts in Focus. Of course, our product focus show here on the channel where we dig into the site, dive into the features, show you around the tools, and ultimately help you get more value out of stock charts. That's our mission here every Friday on this show, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the channel at stockcharts.com/TV, but also, of course, up on our YouTube channel after that and on the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. Lots of different ways to tune in, lots of different ways to watch. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. It is so good to be with you for another episode of new features as we dig into another round of exciting updates that just rolled out on Stock Charts. And the big news last week, as you may have heard, was that we've embraced a new way, a new approach to feature development here at Stock Charts. Behind the scenes for the last few months, the team has been working really hard on a whole new structure for the way that we're building tools and features and releasing those out to all of you on Stock Charts. What that means for you is that we are going to have more regularly scheduled releases, as we're calling them. That means new tools, new features, new enhancements, new improvements, new updates, new optimizations, all of that good stuff every few weeks. So about every 8 weeks or so, we're going to have a new release all across the site, site-wide updates rolling out with these different releases. We are going to have this kind of regular cadence to new tools and new features in every corner of the website. So whether you are a SharpCharts user, an ACP user, whether you use Stock Charts for your scans and your alerts, or whether you just like our commentary and some of the other tools and features that we have, rest assured in every corner of the website, there's going to be something new, again, about every 8 weeks or so with this new release approach. So very exciting stuff. Now, we talked about this in the newsletter last week. We talked about this on the show last week, highlighted where you can actually learn more about all the new features that have just rolled out on Stock Charts. We're going to take a look at that in just a second, just so that you are aware. If you missed last week's show or any of those announcements, want to make sure you know how to learn more about everything that's just launched. But as we talked about last week on the show, for the next couple of weeks, we've rolled out so many things that we're actually going to be digging into kind of each new feature around the website over a couple of shows here on Stock Charts in Focus. So last week, we hit the scheduled scans feature, a very exciting new tool that just rolled out that allows you to set your custom technical scans to run automatically for you at any time that you want, whether that's the open, at the close, or even a totally custom time of day. It'll run those scans for you automatically, save those results right to your account, shoot you an email with the day's results and a link to that chart list in your account that's got the full list of results. So scheduled scans, a very cool scan automation that we've just rolled out. Again, we hit that last week. This week, though, what we're going to be talking about are the 4 new chart list views that just rolled out for SharpCharts users. So all you SharpCharts users out there, your chart lists are probably one of the most important things that you have. One of the most important features that we have on the site, the ability to create those custom charts, but then not just have to, pull up each one manually. You can save those and organize them into chart lists. And of course, if you are a longtime Stock Charts user, you know that we have all of these different chart list views, as we call them. So when you save those symbols, you save those charts into your account, you've got tons of different views, tons of different sort of custom ways to look at those, to gain interesting perspectives on the symbols that you are following, the symbols that you're watching. So we've just rolled out 4 new chart list views. We're going to dig into all that today. But then one of my personal favorite chart list views, the summary view, has also received a major update. We've added 9 new data options to that tool as well. So we got a ton to cover on the show today. We're going to see all of those new chart list views in action. We're also going to take a look at the summary view, make sure that you're aware of the new data options that you have on that page as well. So it's going to be a packed episode. Before we jump into that, I do want to highlight where you can learn more about everything that's just rolled out on the site. And of course, as I mentioned, we're going to be covering each feature in detail on new episodes of Stock Charts in Focus for the next couple of weeks. So be sure to follow as we go. Let's jump over to the site though. We'll take a look at our What's New page. You can always get there by going to stockcharts.com/new, but we'll show you how to get there on the site from our Charts and Tools page. Then we'll jump into all of the new features with our chart list views and summary view data options. Here we go. So we are starting on our Charts and Tools page. Want to highlight again how you can get to that What's New page, learn more about everything that has just rolled out. Now we do have a big banner across the top of the site right now announcing the big news, the latest product release, bringing you new things like scheduled scans, additional chart list views as we're going to cover today, earnings dates, chart markers, a very cool feature that just rolled out in ACP, all that good stuff. Of course, you can click that button if you are watching this right now. If that notification is still up at the top of the site, you can always click that button to get to our release notes, learn more about what just happened. But if you are watching this at a later time, or if you ever want to go back and review that stuff, on our Charts and Tools page, if you scroll down here, you'll see that there's a link to our What's New page over on the right side here. There's also a card down at the bottom of this page. If you scroll down under Education and Support, you'll see there is a card for What's New. When you click that, you're going to be taken over to our What's New page. Now, if you're paying attention to the URL, as I mentioned, you can always go to stockcharts.com/new to get to this page, but it's a great listing of everything that is new on StockCharts, whether it's new features, new tools, additions to the site, improvements, bug fixes, whatever it is. We're going to announce it here on our What's New page. So you can scroll back through the history of this page. It's a great way to kind of learn more about things that have rolled out on StockCharts over the last couple of years. But at the top, we have a new card for our latest release. Now in StockCharts speak, as we talked about last week, we're calling this our Alki product release because it starts with A. The next product release is going to be called Bainbridge because it starts with B. So we're kind of going alphabetically through these releases, just our own way of keeping track internally. But we do put those little names on some of these releases. So if you see Alki, that's what that means. This does give you some high-level information, though, about what's just launched in this latest release. And of course, if you want to learn more and get to all the different features that rolled out, you can hit that Explore button down at the bottom and you can scroll through this page. There's some animations in here to help you learn more about everything, some little demos there, but this kind of lays out all of the new features that we've rolled out with this latest release. There are a ton. We've got sort of the lower level features, still very, very important stuff, but some highlights down there at the bottom. But for the big ones, we've carved off some space at the top of this page to really kind of dig into those. So again, these are some of the things that we're going to be covering on this show for the next couple of weeks, making sure that you are aware of them. For instance, here's our scheduled scans feature. We demoed that last week. This week, we're diving into these 4 new chart list views, scroll view, an enhanced CandleGlance view, symbol summary view, and a new performance view. Very, very cool stuff. We'll dive into that in just a minute. We're also going to dive into those 9 new data options for the summary view. So you can come here, learn a little bit more about this page, or if you want a refresher and you want to go back and review any of these release notes, you can always come here. Again, remember stockcharts.com/new. That'll take you right to where you need to go. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump over to the dashboard and we'll dig into the meat of today's show. So we're going to start with these 4 new chart list views. Now we're here on the dashboard, of course, what I like to call the heart and soul of StockCharts. This is also one of the best places to access your chart lists. So I like to come to this page and hit the chart list button in the top right corner. What that's going to do is scroll me right down the page, right to my chart lists. Now you notice that we have two tabs on this page now, one for your SharpCharts chart lists. We also have a tab for your ACP chart list if you do want to access that, if you're an ACP user. But today we're staying focused on the SharpCharts world. All you SharpCharts users out there, we've just rolled out a lot of new stuff for you. So first and foremost, we're going to dive into these views. While we're here though on this chart list panel on the dashboard, I want to remind you, you actually have an important little preferences setting that you can set up here for your chart list views. So each of your chart lists is actually linked. That's why these are blue. And if you hover over them, you can see that the little color of that link actually changes. So you can click on the name of any of your chart lists to access them. Now, when you access a chart list, where does it go? You've got all of these different view options in here, many of which are new, as you can see. So when you click on the name of it, where does that actually go? Is that taking you to summary view? Is it taking you to scroll view, the new scroll view that we've just launched? CandleGlance, any of the other ones? Where is this link taking you? Well, you can actually customize that here on the dashboard by going up to that little preferences icon and selecting which chart list view you want as your default. Personally, I've set mine up with summary view as my default. I like to get that kind of high level table view with the latest price information and everything for my chart lists. But if you want to jump right to the charts, you can change this. You could set it to be something like scroll view, as we're going to get into in just a minute. Something like Chartbook, another one that I love. Or if you want those little mini charts, you can do CandleGlance. Or with some of our other new views, you've also got symbol summary, performance, RRG, you got all those options in here. So you can actually set up your sort of chart list preference, what your default chart list view is going to be. And then every time you click on one of these chart list names, that view is what's going to come up. So a little StockCharts tip there that I wanted to highlight. So we are going to scroll down here. We'll start working out of, let's go with this S&P 1500 new 52-week highs list. So when you open up any of these view as menus, you will now see a couple of new entries. Those are listed there with those little new labels. One of them actually is new, but we didn't put the new label on it because it's really just kind of an enhancement. So the CandleGlance page has been updated with some very cool new functionality. We'll demo that in just a second. But you've got your three other new views as well. Scroll view is where we're going to start. That is brand new. Then we'll jump into that update for CandleGlance. We've also added a symbol summary view and a performance view. So you can access any of those for any of your chart lists by opening up this little menu and jumping right into the view that you want. Let's start with scroll view. Now, if you are a longtime SharpCharts user, if you've been using chart lists for a long time, chances are you've spent a lot of time working with 10 per page. 10 per page, as the name suggests, takes 10 of your saved charts in any chart list at one time and puts those on a page. It would then have different pages. So you could actually click from page 1 to page 2. That would basically take you from the first 10 charts to the second 10 charts and so on and so forth. We've had a lot of people asking us though for just kind of an infinite version of that page. So instead of having 10 charts on each page at once, why isn't it just infinite? Why can't I just keep scrolling and get more of my saved charts as I go? With scroll view, we have done that. So this is a view that I use a ton. This is a view that many of our users use a ton. You can see that here are the saved charts that I have in this list. As I scroll down it, I've got all of these just stacked. I've got the name of the chart here. I can actually add comments to any of these charts. I can even do some creative things like annotating them or deleting anything from this list by hovering over the chart and clicking the little trash can. You've got plenty of exciting options in here that are the same options that you've always had with 10 per page. When I scroll down to the bottom of this page though, as soon as I get to number 10 in the list, you'll see I've got a little loading spinner that pops up. It's going to load up the next 10 charts in the list and put those right on the screen for me. So this is basically the 10 per page view that we've all loved for a very long time. One of our most popular chart list views. We've just created kind of an infinite version of it. You can see that as I scroll down this list, as I get to the bottom, more charts will load in. Makes it really easy to breeze through a list of saved charts. Very easy to use. It'll just keep loading in those charts as you get to the bottom. Every time there is another chart to load in, every time you get to sort of the next block of 10, we'll load in another group of charts. When you get to the end of the list, that little loading spinner will go away, so you actually know that you're at the bottom. So you'll scroll down and basically nothing will happen. That tells you that you are at the bottom of that chart list. So a very nice little enhancement. This has really kind of already streamlined my workflow. I've been using 10 per page, as I said, for a very, very long time, especially to create a list of charts that I'm following, or the positions that I actively have open, the stocks and funds and everything that I have open in my own accounts. I load those into chart lists, and then I love to use 10 per page to review all those charts and to add my annotations. It's a nice way to put all of your saved charts kind of in one place. With this scroll view, we've really kind of streamlined that workflow. So instead of having to click from page to page to page, now you just keep on scrolling. And if you want to delete anything from the list, if it's a watch list, for instance, you delete it and the next ones just kind of come up right behind it. So this has been a great, great enhancement. I'm really enjoying what the team built here with this new scroll view. By the way, if you get a long way down this list as we are right now, and you want to go back up to the top, you can always look for this little arrow down here in the bottom right corner of the page. When you hover over that, you see it gets a little brighter. You can give that a click, and that'll take you right back up to the top of scroll view. So that is really our tour of scroll view. Again, if you've been using 10 per page for a long time, if you're familiar with that view, I think scroll view is going to be one that you really, really love. It's basically just an improved version of that 10 per page that we've always had. Now, next up, we're going to jump over to CandleGlance. We're going to open up our View List As menu, and we're going to jump over to the CandleGlance page. Some of you might have seen this already, but we've done that exact same thing with CandleGlance. Now, again, this was kind of an update. Instead of creating a whole new view that was just a different version of CandleGlance, we have actually left the name alone. So this is still CandleGlance View. And we've just updated this view with no more pagination. So just like 10 per page that we've always had on, there used to be a group of charts on CandleGlance, and you would basically load up one page of charts at a time. With the latest update to CandleGlance, this page now loads in all of the charts as you scroll. So you can see as you get to the bottom there, it's just going to automatically pull in additional charts from the list. Now, CandleGlance is a fantastic view for reviewing stocks at the end of a day. Kind of that mini chart version allows you to breeze through a whole list of charts really quickly. It's a great one for reviewing scan results. That's one of my personal favorite uses of CandleGlance. You run a scan, you get all these results. You want to start to narrow down the list, filter out the ones that aren't looking the way that you want. With CandleGlance, you can very quickly see everything kind of all in one group, and you can start to delete those. Again, you've got the same delete function here, so if you hover over any of these charts, you can actually delete it right from this list just by clicking that trash can. So CandleGlance is a fantastic, fantastic view. If you're not familiar with it, definitely one to explore. But now by having all of these charts on one page, it's gotten even cleaner. Again, just like what we did with Scroll View, it's really kind of a nice enhancement that's just streamlining the workflow of using this view. I love having all these things on one page. It's really nice to not have to click from page to page. And as you can see, when you get to the bottom, it'll just kind of stop loading in those charts so that you know you are at the bottom. So our update to CandleGlance is a nice step forward for this view. Again, just like 10 per page and scroll view, if you've been using that CandleGlance view for a long time, I think you're going to really enjoy the update here to CandleGlance with that infinite scroll feature. A nice little improvement that we've made there in this very, very popular chart list view. Of course, you can always get back up to the top by just clicking that back to top button at the bottom once you reach the bottom of that CandleGlance page. So that is our second update, our second new chart list view there. We've had that infinite scroll functionality added to our new scroll view page, which is basically an update for 10 per page, and then also to the CandleGlance page. Very cool what the team has done there for the charting views, two of the popular charting views for your SharpCharts chart lists. Next up, we're going to look at symbol summary. Symbol summary, one that is near and dear to my heart because this is one of my favorite pages on the site. I have always thought this is a little bit of a hidden gem. So now we've taken this popular feature and we have built a chart list view around it. This is something we actually had in ACP because we have the symbol summary sidebar over there. So that allows you to really have a chart list in ACP and sort of flip through it with that sidebar open and sort of have a symbol summary view for your chart list in ACP. We've had great response to that, and so we've brought it over to the SharpCharts world as well. So we're going to click this new symbol summary view. Now, if you're familiar with our symbol summary page, again, this is going to look really, really familiar. You're going to know exactly what this is. Symbol summary is a standalone tool that we've had for a couple of years now. You can actually access that from the top of any page by selecting symbol summary from that menu and typing in a ticker symbol. But what it allows you to do is get kind of a high level overview of any symbol on the site, especially for individual stocks that have fundamental metrics and earnings report dates and that kind of thing, dividends especially. The symbol summary view is a great way to kind of dig into some of those stocks that you are following. So what this page provides is high level price information up here with market cap and volume, that kind of thing. Also gives you the exchange, the sector, the industry group, all in one view. This also does give you after hours data. If you're looking at this either in the pre-market session or the post-market session, you'll get after hours data on this page as well. Gives you a little mini chart with a couple of different time frames you can flip through. So 2 days, 5 days, 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, and up to 5 years as well. A nice little mini chart there to kind of give you a sense of price direction and trend. Then we have links to all of the different tools. So SharpCharts and PNF charts, gallery view, all of those different tools for that individual symbol. We've got a summary panel with some high level information. Again, things like 52-week range, what the all-time high on the security is, earnings per share. If it does have earnings, the next earnings date and the last earnings date are going to be listed right here as well, plus timing. So you can see either before market open or after market close. We've got some dividend information in there as well. And then we highlight some key fundamental metrics in here, also some key technicals, a lot of different metrics and things that you can sort of research on our symbol summary page here. We've got a scooter section. If the security that you're looking at has a scooter rank, then we're going to display that here. So you get kind of this nice graphic of the current scooter score and the strength. In this case, we're looking at AbbVie, which has a 98.4, very strong there. You also get that history to it though. So this is going back over the last couple of months. You can see how the scooter has been moving. We are going to have higher level earnings information, earnings reports, misses and beats and that kind of thing. That's coming to this page very soon. We're working on that right now. We're also going to have analyst ratings. Very excited about that. So those two features are coming soon. But down below that, you've got some other key features. So some high level kind of corporate profile information, the address and the website of that company. Again, sector and industry, and then actually the employee total as well. One that I love to come here and look at, especially when researching individual stocks, is that description. So this will give you just kind of a high-level description of what this company does. So if you're wondering, I've just stumbled across this stock. What does this stock actually do? What's this company actually do? You can always come down to the profile section and actually read up on that company. We list any predefined scans that this stock has triggered. So in this case, you can see AbbVie has triggered recently new 52-week highs, also PNF ascending triple top breakouts and the double top breakout there. So always nice to be able to see some of those predefined scans that this stock has been triggering. And then if you do have any alerts set for this symbol, we're going to display those right here. In this case, I don't have any for AbbVie, but if I did, those would show up right here. This is also going to show me all of the chart lists that I've saved this symbol into. This is a great feature, especially if you're ever searching for a symbol and you said, I know I saved that symbol somewhere. I know I saved that chart somewhere. Where did I save that chart? You can actually always pull up the symbol summary view and come and review this. So these are the exact same features that are on our standalone symbol summary page we've had, again, for the last couple of years. People have really loved that page. We've had a great response to it. Had a great response to it when we put it in ACP as well. So we've brought that to your chart lists. When we go back up to the top, what that means is that we now have this header section here available for your chart list. So you get that symbol summary view that we just walked through, but you now have the ability to either select any chart from a specific chart list. So here, again, we're in that same chart list that we've been working out of. I can now jump to any chart in this, any security in this chart list. If we wanted to jump down to Arthur J. Gallagher & Co., if we wanted to jump to Aon or anything like that, we can actually jump to specific securities in this list. Here we're now in Centene. But we also have the ability to go sort of page through this chart list on that symbol summary view. We can use these previous and next buttons to actually just kind of flip through symbols in this chart list with this symbol summary view up. So especially, again, for chart lists that are based around individual stocks, whether it's a watch list or whether it's your portfolio and you're actually kind of digging into the different stocks, individual stocks that you own in one of your portfolios, this symbol summary view is fantastic. Some very cool things, especially like the after hours data that we don't have up right now because we're recording this during the market open. And then also, earnings dates and dividends, that kind of thing. There are also some alerts that actually pop up on this page. So if a stock has just reported yesterday or is reporting tomorrow, we'll actually add a little banner to this page that tells you, hey, this stock is about to report earnings. That's happening tomorrow. So some very interesting little alerts that you get on this page as well. Again, symbol summary page, one that we've covered on the show, one that many of you are probably familiar with. So by bringing that to our chart list world here for SharpCharts, we've now given you the ability to really kind of flip through any list of symbols that you have in a chart list with that symbol summary view up. So very, very cool. One that I'm personally excited about. Now that we've covered that, we've done our first 3 new chart list views here. We're going to jump over to our 4th and final new chart list view, which is performance. This is a very cool one, again, especially for the research that you're doing on a list of stocks, whether it's a watch list or your portfolio, anything that you are looking at. This is a fantastic view. So our performance view takes all of the symbols that you have in a chart list, puts them here with, I'm actually going to clear this out, puts them here with different time frames across the page. So in this case, you can see the performance history over the last 1 day, the latest performance move. You can see 5-day performance. You can see 1 month performance, 3 month, 6 month, year to date, and 1 year performance. We're going to be adding more over time. We are excited to continue building out this page, maybe even introducing some custom options to you as well. But for the initial version of this page, we've got all these different time frames that you can load up for all of the symbols in a list. Now this is what we call a data table. So you can sort this. It's going to be sorted, I believe, by 3-month performance to start, but you can sort this in any way you want. So if you want to sort from top to bottom, from best performers to worst performers over the last 3 months, all you have to do is click that header. If you want to resort this in the opposite order, so now you're looking at worst performers to best performers, you just click it again. You can see that little icon changes there. So this allows you to see all of these symbols in one place and see these different sort of performance moves over all of these different time frames. Very, very helpful to find leaders, very helpful, especially if you have kind of a benchmark there somewhere in the list. You can see what's outperformed and underperformed that benchmark over all of these different time periods. Great to be able to dig into your portfolio. If you have a list of symbols that you own, this is a nice way to dig into those, actually kind of get performance values over some of these really important time frames like 1 month, 3 month, year to date, all of that kind of thing. So a pretty simple view here, but brings in all of these different time frames in one place. And again, with the ability to sort by those different time frames, it's a very, very helpful view. Of course, you can get to any of these charts if you click on the name. You can also get a little mini chart if you hover over the symbol. That's a nice feature of this page. And if you want to get to any of the other tools like symbol summary or a sharp chart or gallery view, any of those, you can use those links in the left side. Now, one of the other things, I kind of cheated there and had this up on the screen when we first jumped over to Performance View, because you've seen now how I've been using it. We've added a comparison option. This is a very, very cool feature of this page. Basically a way to bring relative strength into the performance tool. So this allows you to take any symbol that you want to use as a benchmark. For instance, you saw me using SPY. We could also do something like VTI. That's another one that I use quite a bit. You can enter that benchmark symbol into that comparison box at the top. And if you pay attention here to the symbols column, you can see that all of these have actually now been reformatted to be ratio symbols. So instead of being HPQ, now we're looking at HPQ versus VTI. And we've got that mini chart of it up on the screen as well. What this is going to do is allow you to see relative strength against a benchmark that you care about over all of these different time periods. So instead of looking at the 1 month performance of HPQ, we're now looking at the 1 month outperformance or underperformance against the benchmark that we care about, in this case, the Vanguard Total Index, the total US stock market. We can see that outperformance or that underperformance over all of these different time frames. Now, as we always like to say, relative strength is probably the most important thing that we have as chartists beyond price itself. If we want to beat the market, we need to own things that are beating the market. We need to own things that are outperforming the market and showing relative strength. Or on the opposite side, if you're trading in the opposite direction, you want to own things that are underperforming. So this new comparison option on the performance view really allows you to kind of dig into relative strength across a whole group of symbols. Instead of just having the charts there with your relative strength panels, as many of us do, as I personally do as well, you can actually take an entire list of symbols, enter in that benchmark, and see that relative strength in this kind of table view over all of these different time frames. This is helpful, again, for researching stocks. Maybe you want to start really looking at things with a new perspective when they start to underperform over the last 3 months or the last 6 months, anything like that. This relative strength option is really going to help you dig into a whole list of symbols that you've saved into a chart list with that new perspective. We've talked about this a lot on the show and in kind of our release promos and everything like that we've been doing. We've talked about bringing new perspectives to your chart lists. This is a great one, a new perspective for all the symbols in your chart list. You can really kind of hit that with the new performance view. So very, very cool feature there. I'm loving this. This has been a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to have the year-to-date option on there, especially, as we get further into the year, that becomes more and more relevant. So right now, we've just finished up Q1. So it's always interesting to dig into some of those year-to-date values and then add a comparison and dig into some of the year-to-date values versus the total market. Always fun. So that is our new performance option for your SharpCharts chart lists. Now, in our last couple of minutes of the show before we wrap up, we're also going to highlight the new options that just rolled out for the summary view. So one of my personal favorites, it's actually going to look very similar to that performance tab, the summary view for your chart list. This is my default. This is the way that I typically like to start when I look at my chart lists. This just brings in kind of all that high level summary view data. So it's things like scooter value, but of course it's things like price change over any time period. So, typically set to intraday, but you actually do have some time periods in here, matches what we do on the performance view. So you can look at, percent change over the last 1 week or 1 month or 3 months, any of that kind of thing. And then this also brings in sector and industry and market cap and volume and a whole bunch of things. We've expanded this page with 9 new data options. Again, if you go back to that what's new page, the release notes that we had up there, we list those out there. So if you're ever wondering what we've added, you can get that full list over there. But it's very easy to customize this page, and we'll take a look now at what is new on this page. I've set this up in a specific way for me, but if you want to customize it with some of these new data options that we've just rolled out, all you've got to do is come up to the columns button. When you give that a click, you can see that you can actually turn on or off any column on this page. So I constantly am turning on and off different columns depending on kind of the mindset that I'm in when I'm reviewing a chart list, or depending on what is in that chart list. If it's a list of ETFs, I don't need the sector and industry, for instance. If it's a list of stocks, I like to turn those columns on. So it's very easy to turn all of these on or off. All you've got to do is click it, and if it's checked, it's going to be on. If it's not checked, it's going to be off, obviously. What we have added is down at the bottom, a whole new list of summary view data options. So first and foremost, we've added market cap, a great one, again, for researching individual stocks. We've also added a new interesting 20-day EMA value and comparison. So we'll show that in just a second. I'm going to basically turn all these on and then we'll walk through them. We've added a similar 50-day SMA comparison and a 200-day SMA comparison. We've added 14-period RSI values, 14-period ATR values, and 14-period ADX values. We've also added earnings per share, EPS, and PE ratios to this page. So these are your 9 new data options that you can now turn on for the summary view for your SharpCharts chart lists. When we click out of this, we can see what that looks like. So here they are on the right side of the screen. We've got market cap. We've got that 20-day EMA value. So this is going to tell you the 20-day exponential moving average of that symbol, but then it's also going to tell you where price is relative to that moving average. So in this case, we are currently trading 7.92% above the 20-day EMA on AbbVie. We do the same thing with the 50-day and the 200-day. These are simples instead of being exponentials, but we tell you what the simple 50-day moving average is and what the simple 200-day moving average is and where price is trading relative to those. You can sort by any of these columns just like we looked at on the performance table. All you've got to do is click on the header or click it again to kind of flip that into reverse. So any of these that you want to sort by, you can always just click that column header and sort by those. Again, we've added the 14-day RSI, the 14-day ATR, and the 14-day ADX, a couple of really popular technical indicators that have values that you can compare across symbols. So that's always an interesting one. And then, of course, for your individual stocks, we've added EPS numbers and PE ratios for all of those as well. So if you want to bring in a little bit of a fundamental perspective on top of the price data, some of those technical indicators, the moving averages, all that good stuff, you do have those values in your new summary view as well. So a couple of great updates here. You can customize this with any of the ones that you want. If you want everything turned on, of course you can go nuts, jump in here to the columns. You can turn that on, turn on volume, turn on date, all of that good stuff, and you'll see that this actually now scrolls horizontally. So when the table is wide enough, it'll actually scroll horizontally off the page. So you can really go nuts, add all of this to your summary view if you want. Or if you want to sort of pick and choose the ones that are relevant to you. Maybe you say, well, I don't really care as much about the sector and industry groups. I'm not a big volume guy, so I'm going to turn that off. And I don't really use ADX or ATR on my charts, so I'm going to turn those off. You can now customize that. It's very, very easy. That is going to be saved to your browser. So when you come back to summary view, those settings should be there for you as well. So you don't have to customize this table all the time, every single time you come back to it. It should be saved there for you. Of course, like I mentioned, I do find myself actually switching up what's in these summary views quite a bit. Again, if I'm looking at a list of stocks, I kind of want to look at it in one way. If I'm looking at a list of ETFs, I want to look at it in another way. So a little sneak peek, we are evaluating some custom table options that would actually allow you to create different views, different kind of table configurations, and save those to be able to access them pretty easily. I'm giving away too much. I don't want to say much more, but we've got some very, very cool stuff in the works for the next release and the release after that. Really for the releases for the rest of this year, some fantastic stuff kind of on the docket. So very, very excited about this new approach that we're rolling out here on StockCharts. So that is our show for today. That was a whirlwind tour of a lot. We've added, again, those 4 new chart list views for all you SharpCharts users. That is the new scroll view that we've added, kind of an enhancement to that 10 per page. Also a major update to the CandleGlance view with all of those charts infinitely loading on the screen as you scroll. We've also added symbol summary view for your chart lists and that new performance view as well. On top of that, for your SharpCharts chart list, we've also added 9 new data options that you got to see there on today's show. Things like key moving averages, market cap, a couple of fundamental metrics, and a couple of popular technical indicators that you can compare across symbols. So some very exciting updates. And this is just the first release that we've done with our new approach. So you can probably get a sense, you can probably guess where we're going with some of this stuff. We've got big, big things coming to you in the next couple of months and throughout the rest of this year with this new process. Of course, this is going to be the place to hear about all of it. StockCharts in Focus every single Friday. We do this show on Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. New episodes on the live channel at StockCharts.com/TV. But we also have all of these StockCharts in Focus episodes up on our YouTube channel after that. So you can always find it there on our official StockCharts YouTube channel. And of course, also on the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. Free to register there, free to watch all of our great content that we do. And you can download the apps, bookmark things, save stuff for later. Lots of really cool features on that StockCharts TV website, StockChartsTV.com. So I hope that you will join me again soon for more episodes of StockCharts in Focus. Again, the next couple of weeks, we're going to be drilling into the other features that have just rolled out as part of our latest release. You do have all that info for you there at StockCharts.com/new. You can go check out what is new, explore things ahead of time, but then in the next couple episodes of this show, we'll be digging into more of those new tools and features, really kind of highlighting everything, talking through how you can use them, giving you some new perspectives on how to use some of those exciting new enhancements that have just rolled out on StockCharts. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. Thank you again for joining me here on Stock Charts in Focus. I'll see you next week for another episode of the show. And remember, go explore that What's New page, StockCharts.com/new. Check out last week's episode that we did as well. You can find that in a couple of places. Again, the on-demand platform, StockChartsTV.com, or the YouTube channel. Also, be sure to follow our Chart Watchers newsletter. Free to sign up every Saturday, just kind of keeping you informed on what's happening around the website, and lots of great expert commentary included in that Chart Watchers newsletter. You can sign up for that at the bottom of any page around Stock Charts, or by going to StockCharts.com/newsletter. That'll sign you up for that. But definitely keep in touch and check out that episode that we did last week highlighting scheduled scans, one of the other big features that we just rolled out as part of our latest release. Lots of great content there. I'll see you soon, though, for another edition of Stock Charts in Focus next week. And until then, chart on, my friends.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.